Sorry, guys. Ajibujalo, thank you very much. I not been no say me me mic I not turn it on, so now that makes so. I think say when I get you get sound now. Hold on. Sound like say I get a lot of noise. Yeah, I did get a lot of noise. Let me hold on, guys. I did get a lot of background noise. Hold on, guys. Let me just make sure. Okay. All right. I think that is better. Let me just Ajibujalo. Una de. All right. So let me start again. Let me start again. So this now the thing this way some of you been talk about, right? When we talk about politics na salon, it's very difficult for make you able to separate between sincerity and truthfulness. Very, very difficult, right? And as we all know, that is something that we all have to fight, because we know say when somebody is outside of the government, they talk all kind crap, you know. They tell you say, oh, when I kind of power, they do this, they do that, all those type of crap. Then they talk about that. Well, unfortunately, the SLPP government is just another, you know, another party where based on the talk when they talk is different from the actions that when they take. So if you now remember when the SLPP kind of power, one of the things where that they tout around is the fact that then they tell you say, well, one of our main goal here is to fight corruption. Madabio now one of them talks and now and then they not so. We can't fight corruption, and we know say corruption they fight back. Now very good sound, you know, sound bite way people then go out for a rewrite. Very, very good. Very, very great, my brothers and sisters. But they say actions speaks louder than voice, you know, and that's the reality. Okay, not to waiting somebody they say now you they take no more as a prelude for judge that person there. Okay, now what they do is also right. So if Madabio, this guy, where we call our president, they come and hold other people them. Where, hold on, let me make sure. Other people them where they say they misappropriate funds. Madabio, remember, this is Madabio. He set up an inquiry, a commission of inquiry, where the commission of inquiry reported to them, say, this amount of people, they misappropriate or they steal or then take, no matter what the adjective way you want for use, they misuse their offices for embezzle themselves. This is what Madabio commission of inquiry say, right? And let's say this is true. I'm not here to argue whether it is lie or true, because me in particular, Dr. Mankotam, I know they defend a politician. I they defend myself. I they defend somebody way I know very well for say indeed that is sincere somebody, not a credible somebody. And unfortunately, even though there are people within that country, the way that politicians, the way, and they do them very hard work for be sincere, for be credible. Sometimes society then say, you know, they say society influence man as much as man influence society, right? That is one of the psychological stuff that we know. Society influence man as much as man influence society. There are some people where they just want for, okay, Mr. Kabo, welcome. There are some people where they just want for do the right thing, then they go na politics with the good intentions. I don't want for dismiss them kind of people then they. This is very, very important because we have to be sincere. We are also human beings. You know, we have to be sincere. There are people where they go na politics for go do the right thing. But because of the influences where they within that society, that political society there, they either make them people then job very, very tough, or they influence, if you weak-minded, then they influence you for make you be part of the cabal, the corruption. Corruption as alone as something where we all know say is stem across party line, is stem across region, is stem across society. Yes, corruption as alone. It's stem across all them things then they. So even with the good intention where some people then get, before then they go na politics, waiting then they go see in politics with combined with other influencing factors them, it go make them people then they become weak and corrupt. So I know they can use a brush for brush everybody. I don't want for generalize people them. But like I say, corruption is something that is endemic. It's very, very rooted by we own unwillingness for we come together as a society, irrespective of Dr. Mankotai, in brother, in auntie, in nephew, in this or that, or in party members them should be held accountable. But because we are unwilling for we sacrifice some of the self-interest we get for the sake of society, for the sake of the country, the fight against corruption is very, very tough. That's alone. Just want the brothers and sisters for know that. Let me just try for share this. No, if this will give me the best way to share them. So that is the problem we get now with society. Let me see. That's not the problem we get now with society, ladies and gentlemen. So when people like Madabio, they cannot public, and they can't tell we say one of the main goals is for Gary. One of the main goals, Madabio, now for fight corruption. A lot of people like we want for put politics aside and try for help them, encourage them for fight corruption, with the hope that Madabio they fight corruption first from within. You know, they fight corruption first from within. Unfortunately, this audit report don't show say that is not actually the case. Yep. I did pan share the broadcast right now. So that I make video when they see me, I did look at my phone. So it's off. It's off for Mother Bio. And this now a test of time for see whether Mother Bio is sincere. Yes, there are so many people the way they argue, say, oh, during the time of the APC, some of them see also they take place, this, that. Yeah, we know that. I have no doubt. During the time of the APC, so many audit reports don't come where as bad as the SLPP reports, where we see today. So I have no doubt about that at all. But we have been punished for that. The APC has been punished because of the same corrupt practices the way some of we leaders that they take. You understand? Thank you, Ajibu Jalon. So we have been punished for that. If the people of Sierra Leone look at we the APC say, oh man, you need to go sit down and rearrange yourself, and make sure the next time when you come to power, you go able do a better job for the people of Sierra Leone. We want for test another person. Now, because of the mistakes that we do, now that make the people that they want for test another person. The people that then believe say maybe the next person based on what he talk, what in the common mouth during the time of the campaign and before he come to power, it was genuine. This was why the people of Sierra Leone elected Mother Bio, because Mother Bio was telling us that one of the main targets is for comfort corruption. And when he came to power, he set up this commission of inquiry. You understand? He said this commission of inquiry. Now, he go after some of real members that were not being government officials. They say they misappropriate fund. Some of the funds there, they're not accountable. That's great. Some of we know say the process was not fair. That was true. The process was not fair, but you're not going to say you have to get that 100% before you do it. Maybe you got some mistakes along the way. That's how life is, right? That's how life is. You get it from, you get mistakes, you make mistakes. If you are genuine enough, they become better based on their mistakes than they. Now, the audit report come in. God behold, 178 billion leons. 178 billion leons. In 3 years. Well, I think not even. Let me just put the total in 3 years. In 3 years, 178 billion leons. Just a few days ago, the bank governor came out publicly and tell we say the notes na Bank of Sierra Leone don't done. The notes, the leons, they don't get notes again. You don't know. And looking at that, you get an accounted for such a huge amount of money. You go able put the dots together, right? Where this money is, how this money was spent. 178 billion leons. I don't know the one that we're able to calculate. Me not able for calculate, so I don't want for calculate. But some the one able for calculate, convert them to dollars. Some of them are saying between $250 to $300 million. If this is true, is Mother Bio need for sack every single person, every single one, where they find that you're not able for account money. At this coronavirus, even when I remember during the time of the Ebola, there were songs then where people they make, oh, the APC don't misuse the Ebola money, Even when His Excellency, the President, Hannes by Kuruma bin Kana na America na the UN Assembly at one point in time. You see all placard, people then they go demonstrate for the Ebola money. Some of we cover them. And some of we will not chastise them people then they wave and they go protest because that's not their right for protest for anything where they say they go wrong in that country. Now, Madabio will be held responsible for misappropriation, especially the hypocrisy where this government don't put, where then come out and promise we say, then come fight corruption. And now they're not even able to fight corruption within the young government. How they were able to fight corruption outside of the young government? This is a problem. This is a problem. And this is not a test. You know, they say you go know a good leader. Not during the time of peace and tranquility, you know. That's not the time you know a good leader. Now, when crisis happen, when something we get for do with difficult choice, decision making, get for take place, that's the time when you see a good leader. And this is the time for me we know say Mother Biona a good leader. I am not saying this because I'm an APC. No, I know me say me not somebody when I always they put my country above me party. Always. It doesn't matter. If na me party do the wrong thing, I go tell them say no, this is wrong. You know. So the same thing with here. If Madabio no hold them people here accountable, the people of Sierra Leone get the constitutional right for revoke the contract where they sign with this government. I think enough is enough. Just like I said earlier, yes, we know say influences are so many, but that not for make you become corrupt. Especially when you go with a bold face to the public and say, you know what, we can't fight corruption. I remember the first week when the guy then kind of power, they make some kind of quick inquiry. Then they sit on media, then they talk about how the APC government want for bankrupt or even bankrupted the country. You know, the chief minister or whatever you call in name, they emphasize how nothing in the corruption way. He said it's shame for be a Sierra Leonean. This was his word. This was the chief minister's words. Ashamed for be a Sierra Leonean when I see what them guy then do. Able. Now look at our government, what did they do? So Sierra Leoneans then, it is good that some of them get for pay attention. Yeah, I know say one of the missed their ways, a lot of them way now they don't understand where they get is. Me not a politician, let them try them. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're not a government official or you're not a pauper, now one of the remote village that's alone. We don't get nothing to do with the day-to-day activities of the politics. The decision way, the behavior and decision way them politicians then they make, it affect you directly. Directly. So stop saying I am not a politician. Mortal man are a political animal. Whether you agree or not, you are a political animal because you have to survive. How you go survive? How you go survive? If you not know the one the way when they put what then they do, how you go able to survive? Are there so many times people are saying the country he had, the country he had. Oh yeah, the country had. Yeah. The country had. But you also need to understand him. You are also a contributory factor because the kind of people they put another power another government there. Now and they make the country hard. They not get the interest of the people. Now they don't interest in the serve. How could you misappropriate 178 billion leons from that poor country there? And you come back in the public, they talk say money no dey. Who said that money they come out? No, let's talk about that. Who said that money they come out? You know what? Ajibujala, they send you the link. Probably if you want for join, let me send you the link quickly. Or you know what? Let me just put the link. Without one for join with for discuss, for let we discuss. Let me just put the link here. All right, now the link this. Now the link this. If una see the link, when I just copy that one there and paste on our browser now, whether on our phone or on our computer, any side we watch with. If you want can contribute, this because this is very, very important. This is a national dialogue. So not to no more me commentators again for the contribute. If you want to contribute, you can either come in directly and say what you get for same without any cost or no one cost, because I will not believe in cost. With respect, you come now. If you come criticize the president, criticize them with respect, because we have to respect our leaders. If you want forget comment, like una so there are comments where they come, a lot of comments, and then they come in. So you can do that too. You know, you can just put your comment at the display and we discuss and comment and now. Let me bring in the commentator today when Honorable Mr. Kabo. Mr. Kabo, thank you very much for coming the program.
Thank you, Mr. Mankota. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy belated Christmas and New Year in advance. So let's look at the report, the audit report in a generalistic way, and try for filter through and see what actually we able to learn from this report. And when I like what I say in a monologue, when I try to connect the dots and see how then they go on, I begin to find out, say, we don't get sincerity people in that salon. This is the biggest problem we will get. Sincere people, they don't know them. That's alone way go able to take this country to the next level. What's in your thoughts?
You're quite correct about that, Mr. Mankota. This is Kabo from New York. Every listener, Sierra Leonean, home and abroad, Merry Christmas to you all. It is a sad situation for the mere fact that you already mentioned it, that people in Sierra Leone are not good. You can all see that from authorities way down. First and foremost, we're expecting the Auditor General to be genuine enough and to do the right thing as ordained by the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We found out that we have been failed and misled by such an institution. I don't want to actually deliberate on the issue of the audit, the present audit report, because for the simple fact that it is not correct. Lara, the general, came out and testified that there are mistakes. And until and unless, if any genuine Sierra Leonean want to comment on it, until and unless those mistakes are corrected and issue a new report. We see things like the report doesn't only cover the period of Madabio to date or even the 2019 itself. It went way back probably during the time of Anescoma, a couple of years. And all those things came in as brought forward. And we've seen other areas where they talk about timber, and they talk about things like the how do you call this agency? I'm not sure about that. Navoska. Oh, sorry, I missed the name of the agency. They talk about Prados or vehicles. They talk about computers. They talk about generators.
Oh no, I don't know.
The same like me.
And yeah. I think you want for the coronavirus team where they
manage the coronavirus. All those informations are faulty. So I don't know why. And I saw you came up actually promptly on the TPN WhatsApp, and you make a lot of condemnation to Madabio, and you even boasted that he's done, and he's going to lose the elections. But this is the fact. I don't blame you. It's false information travels fast. The fastest information you can think of is a propaganda, the lies. And as you said, we don't have credible people in Sierra Leone, even from the leadership itself, more so in the Attorney General. I mean, the Auditor General, wherein we expect the most from every individual. She failed us. So I don't want to deliberate on that, because anything we say that is not correct at this point in time. And I assure you that, because she has come to that. She already came up, and I'll show you videos of where she said there were mistakes, and a lot of things were mistakes are not true. So until and unless it is corrected, everything is not correct.
Mr. Gabu,
Correct.
are you saying the audit report is faulty or is not correct?
It's not correct, definitely. It's just a manipulated system. And what the pundits want to hear is that they know that false information travels fast, and they succeeded in that. I think, to my own opinion, the Auditor General has to step down to make it good for the country, because she not only lied to the people of Sierra Leone, she has caused a political rift
So, Mr. Gabu, where do you get this information? Say this audit report is not correct
from her mouth. You don't watch the videos. You don't listen to the news going on.
Well, maybe say look, right. I even missed today for say today na Friday instead of Saturday.
I know. And I even blame you. Yeah, I even blame you to come out quickly to condemn this situation. I was like, oh my God, Mr. Mankota was too fast. And this came up. She said that it's not correct. So until she go back to the drawing board and do the right thing, then we will check it from there.
Mr. Gabu, can you point out specifically what the Auditor General say is not correct? Is it something the report itself in totality is not correct, or some information is not correct?
Well, when once we're looking for, you got to remember that you are dealing with people, and people want to know the truth. If you start pointing out one point area that is not correct, or two or three, then there's a problem. So until and unless you come with the correct situation, problem, because what she was doing actually, it's not like I'm not blaming. It's not like the report. It was intentional. That I would tell.
Right, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Intentional. She made it intentionally to create a political rift within the two political parties. That is the APC and the SFP. And she knew that propaganda can sell very well. And she knew the lies could go faster than the truth. And that's why she did it. And with the opponents, the opposition, are you with me? And with the opposition, they always look at us at the slightest thing to make it a problem. And once you sell that lies to the people, especially the opposition, wherein I feel a lot of them only accept issues they don't follow. And maybe, I'm not sure, maybe Dr. Mankota also made a mistake by draining them, by saying things come out and say things quickly without following them. And you cannot take it back from them. And that's what the opposition is looking for. The opposition is winning at.
Okay, Mr. Gabu.
Yeah, hold on. Let me land that. The opposition is looking at a chance where they will say something, where somebody will say something, whether it is true or not. As long as they feel it is their advantage, they will use it. And that's what the Auditor General did. It was a game she played. And I asked the government of Sierra Leone to let this lady step down from her position.
All right, that's fine. This is what you said. Okay. I'm not going to argue too much on that, because I was so overwhelmed these days. I'm not able to go through everything for say yes. But Mr. Gabu, I think based on what I understand, it seems like the Auditor General was talking about something that is not correct, which has nothing to do with the report itself in totality, but maybe some snippets that are actually not correct instead of the reports. But I'm not going to argue. Then Ajibu Jalo, they try for coming. I just they wait for him for make it show up. I not see him. I see the name, but the video not come it. I don't know if not just let me see. Maybe na audio no more. You wouldn't call.
And Mr. Mankota, if I could go further, as you are.
Go ahead.
I feel, let's say for devil's sake, or for the devil's advocate, let's say the report is correct, right? And this is what I want to say is that, and people like Fortune, I don't know, he has another name, he's called himself Fortune. I don't know if an APC spokesman. Um, he came up and condemned the SLPP just like you did, and a lot of APC people. But the fact remains that the people of Sierra Leone are the people of Sierra Leone. Madabio didn't bring Chinese people to come and rule the government of Sierra Leone. Madabio didn't say APC politicians are correct. He said there's corruption in the country. I'm coming to fight corruption. So everybody in Sierra Leone, we said that here a month ago. Me and you are corrupt.
When you guys then I bring you can at the screen.
Yeah, we all in Sierra Leone we are corrupt, and the people put in places of responsibilities.
I bring you can. Okay.
People in place of responsibility. People in places of responsibilities. Correct.
Let's say the Auditor General report says the report is wrong. Like what they try for claim. So I know say the Auditor General no go ever say that they can spend months for put this report together. They get so many documents. How could they compile the reports and later on then publish this report? Yeah? Because before they publish it, I know say they don't go through the report and try to verify everything. Before ever them publish it, then after they don't publish it, then go back. So you know what? My bad, we forgot. I'm not saying professionals like Canada, but let me bring in Ajibujalo. Ajibujalo, thank you very much for Canada program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This is now a very serious issue we are talking about when we talk about corruption at this country. Every president we don't come, including President Kuruma, make corruption a mantra na the statement when comes in the one for confet. So as this current President Bill, but believe you me, if you look at the corruption we don't take place this very quick term, okay, as opposed to waiting not happen in the past, this one day of monumental level. And for me, not the question of calling the government out on aspects that we not correct, but now waiting the government will get for do now, whose steps and whose action and will take for bring to book or for regularize the issue them where they don't outline the reports. That is what is going to be important. We don't see waiting happen now with the 49,000 bags of rice. This is very serious. 49,000 bags of rice. The anti-corruption commissioner believes he gets a smoking gun. He go ahead and name a few people, name people in it, and put them out of their offices. And for 7 months, then carry on with the investigation, then get the investigation, then bring them kind of court, then begin try the case in court, only for make them stop the case prematurely. And they abandon the matter and bring them people, and they come back in the office. We had nothing about that anymore. Nothing about that. As I go around the streets of Freetown, okay, just today, just myself, I did work on a ticket, I did talk to people in Alomli. I come on Alomli, I go to Juba. All man they tell you say, "Bra, this is Kanga. The country it's strong, and people are not able." We really need for sit on. We need for sit on. Things are tough in this country. Yeah. And the last one for that corruption also that are going on unanswered.
And as alone this right?
As alone this one now. This alone.
Yeah. So it does. So I just want for America because probably you will get more idea than Mr. Kabo is saying here today that the Auditor General come back and say the report were incompiled is wrong. You get any of their idea than they, or maybe Mr. Kabo is looking at something that is different from the Auditor General report, and you want for equate and for being that the report was wrong.
No. What's Mr. Now common mistake Mr. Kabo they make, where everybody else they make that common mistake there. Waiting the Auditor General saying, waiting them putting at the reports were not they in line with waiting they expect not change. The only thing we change now the form of calibration. How did they calibrate the timber? Because the act through which they manage timber, they say now cubic feet now in for take measure. But where they go measure the amount of timber where they don't put out without proper documentation or without the money way for some for they calibrate them in containers. The only difference now and so there will be a difference in the amount of money where they talk because you either calibrate in cubic feet when in the real calibration as opposed to waiting in a document when a container. But anyhow you look at them, there is a loss. Anyhow you look at them, there's a loss.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Mr. Kabo, you hearing now, right?
Yes, Hardy.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you respond?
Well, this is what I'm saying here is if, as you mentioned, the Auditor General is not actually the one putting the report together. He's the overall boss of the audit, and everything is being placed by people, staff that are responsible, that are located to the responsibility in Sierra Leone. And these people put these things together. And what I'm saying here is, before she put it out, when did she come about this? She came in after the report went out, and then she came to make the difference between the two. And she should have done that before even the final paper comes out. And Lara went through it, I believe that. Why, after the whole thing is being published, then she started to come and make some explanation. She should have corrected that before she let it out. So that's what the problem is. And that's not the only thing. I believe there are so many other items that they mention. And but just like we say, this is what I want to say. Um, um, what there are key things that we learn from this audit. One, the opposition, also the APC, wanted to put it that hey, APC is corrupt, APC is corrupt, SLPP is corrupt. So 50-50.
Finally, Mr. Kabo, finally, you don't actually acknowledge today for say yes, indeed, this corruption is no longer just unique to one political party. That is very great. It's a step in the right direction.
Mr. Makota, I have asked you here a month ago, you and Augustine Camara, that every Sierra Leonean is corrupt. I said, me and you are corrupt. How much more else do you want me to say that? Now, what I'm saying is, I know the opposition wanted, because the problem is when this corruption issue comes up, they think they are the corrupt people. That's how they think it. They take the blame that they got mad will fight them because he said they are corrupt. And all they wanted to get is a red meat like what Lara did, the Auditor General, to throw it to the public, and then they can pick it and say, oh, it's 50-50, they are corrupt, we are corrupt. That's not how it is. We already have seen it from the time immemorial that Sierra Leone is corrupt, no matter where you come from. But the advantage we have over the present government is that there is somebody who has stood up, like Madabio, and make sure he gives more responsibilities and support the ACC to fight corruption. And we are picking out these people one by one. We cannot fight everybody to one another. So we have to give the praise to Madabio because he stood up on it. And the same ACC, I know, as you people argue, was formed by Anes Koroma, and he gave ammunition to them. But they were toothless. If APC could, if SLPP can indict SLPP, where were the, APC parliamentarians at the time or government officials? Where was the ACC? And they turned, the ACC itself that was put to watch over these people, they turned to be the defenders again today. They are the lawyers. So you see where corruption is in its high point in Sierra Leone. And besides, now that the SLPP, APC have come with the conclusion that everybody is corrupt in Sierra Leone. So what do they want us to do? I think they have to join the boat so we can fight corruption. And this is the most important thing.
All right, before we bring the Honorable Baibure, I don't know, Ajibuja Lodin Salon, and when I see the network is very rough over there. So let me try, when I just hold on, let me just try call on the Skype so that you know, go incur too much of expenses over there.
Called an international number and will be charged international rates.
Oh, okay, hold on. I don't know if you get the one within a salon. Yeah. Let me tell and say if he gets salon number, so I will call him. All right, Mr. Baibure, go ahead. Baibure, hold on. Let me unmute you. All right, go ahead now.
Can you hear me?
Clearly, go ahead.
All right. This is Baibura of TPN Radio. I wish for tell the moderator, Dr. Mankota Tenki, and the colleague commentators there, listeners there. I wish for extend season's greetings to una. Which me they talk about? Uh, uh, the report, the auditor's report.
Jay.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I'm not going able therefore defend or do anything otherwise. At the point which more information they come on more and more. It's sad to say that a government will say they fight corruption and don't indict them in such a manner. And for proof, the auditory report right, look what it happened. All the banks there, they get liquidity crisis simply because the financial behavior of the government, don't undermine the public confidence. And what they tell the people of Sierra Leone and listeners there, when they say banking system, now confidence. Now I make person he had one money, if they take and go put on a bank. Now confidence he get now the bank see, then they and for keep that money, they anytime we want away get them, may get them. But this government don't undermine the public confidence in such a manner that now the banks then they not get money not in a bank.
All right,
the lifebone of the economy.
Okay. Let's stop there. Let me bring back Mr. Ajibujalo. I know say Mr. Ajibujalo, you picking one for be part of the program. So Mr. Ajibujalo, you surprised when you hear the governor they talk say money not in the bank?
No, I'm not surprised. You know, apart from the fact for say this bank governor who gets now textbooks economics now in deeper, which is quite different from the practicality on the ground. In self get challenged in doing in work. If you don't follow the bank governor before now, you go see him or you go hear him now interviews them where they tell you say they only are underwater, they try for tell her waiting for do, they tell her how for doing work, and he's not going to accept that. Yeah. Hey guys, sorry. He's not going to accept that. So he don't get control of what really they happen, so to speak. He's just there, but really and truly, the finance minister or whoever else, they control what they do and not get total control. I mean, you can imagine if not anybody will get any ounce of integrity by now, they go resign. Okay, if you're not able to do your work, you go resign. Something like this happen. Banking issue now a forecast issue. If you don't get sufficient forecast, and look at the flimsy excuse we go give in a 98.1, it say they don't print money for income. I go show you evidence now for say from retail income they don't print money 3 different times during your own time. They don't print money 3 different times. The last day when they print money now May 15, 2020 when I signature the para. Okay, if you want for retire old notes them and you want for bring new notes them, then certainly you know go take the notes then they're out of circulation. If you know don't bring the new notes then come. So the excuses are flimsy and they're fuzzy. It makes no sense. And this will wreck a whole institution. And like how the other commentators say, when it comes to an economy, once you threaten people and people they don't afraid and believe same money no they go begin keep the money where they get. When they keep the money where they get, then you don't bring inflationary pressure because now you don't get sufficient cash within inside the system. So prices they go up. When prices go up, the economy they in a tailspin. That is what is going to happen here. I think to say SFPP simply not able to run this government. SFPP simply not able to run this government as of now, as it is then able.
Definitely. Let me try call Adams. Adams they try for call from London, but I think he gets some issues. Yeah, let me see if I will able for them come through my phone. All right, Mr. Gabo, what are you surprised into the governor's utterances na the media say money?
There's no surprise about that. I don't know why others may think it's a surprise.
Adam sitting at the radio, so just hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Gabo.
There's no surprise about that. I don't know why others may think it's a surprise. Before Mada Abio took before he took the mantle of government of Sierra Leone, maybe a year or two before that, the former president declared the country as under austerity. And that simply means that it is under life support. And I was going to find out because that was something very important. I knew when the Mama project was not taking place. But
Yeah,
I think
okay.
he made it clear. Let me come.
Hold on, Mr. Kabo. Adams, you're not going to hear Mr. Kabo because you did a different channel line when WhatsApp, but if you did talk, then they hear you. So Mr. Kabo, round up. Let me come to Adams.
All right. So that's as I said. When Madabio took over the mantle of Sierra Leone, he made mention that he's not going to go with the program of the Mama Beach, and we see how he put it away and decided to take another program of his own. But when he came, he failed to tell us. I haven't seen authorities that came to tell us that whether we are still on austerity or we've gone over austerity. But I'm sure by what I see and what I hear from Sierra Leone and what's going on there, when Ernest Koroma was leaving office, he didn't declare austerity as over. We are still under austerity. And up to date, nobody came in to declare that austerity is over. So there's no surprise about that. We are still under austerity. We are still under life support up to date. Because nobody, except you, correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody has come up to you and say,
you're wrong, but I'm not going to talk.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. If any authority of the government of Sierra Leone that has come, and present government of Sierra Leone has come and say austerity is elevated.
Well, that's why first of all, before I bring Adams, first of all, when the SLPP government come, you understand? They not actually go with the how they call them Mr. Ajibujalo, give me that word again. What I can use rationalization. Waiting.
Expenditure
rationalization. Madam Bion government not go with that one at all. You not go with that at all.
What do you mean by expenditure rationalization?
Then Mr. Please explain to them for make you understand. I don't say don't explain to we at one time, but Mr. Kabo still they feel doubt. Before I bring Adams, go ahead.
Okay, so after we get the Ebola, when the Ebola come, it creates a lot of pressure on this country also economically. We contract with economic activity in terms of agriculture by 30%, manufacturing activity contract by 50%. All the businesses that we didn't ask you are gonna go. So the money will be the beginning inside as a country. The domestic resource mobilization efforts be reduced. We'll not begin money with the kind side. So therefore, government decides we need for re-strategize what we spend money on and cut down on plenty spending and just spend on essential product them, which we really need. So we do what in called expenditure rationalization. Look at all we spending and identify what in priority what we really need, and we spend on that alone and not spend money again. So we're able to match the problem with resource mobilization. Where SLPP come, we never ever declare austerity. Never. It was expenditure rationalization, meaning that money they can inside, so we get for cut down. If we go dinner 4 times per week, if we go movie 5 times per week, we eat beef every day. No, we can only eat beef now on weekends. We cannot go to dinner again. Now that we do, we cut down the down. What SLPP can within then do? Then open 5 more embassies that we get. They move ministerial position and from 23 ministry, then get now over 30 ministry. Okay, they also hire people all over the place. And if you want for stand down, just look at the wage bill. APC time wage bill was 180 billion a month. Total amount of money we need for pay salaries for all we local staff and international staff now be 180 billion. Today, now 237 billion leons. Now you need for make you pay everybody. No new company no can inside the country. No new activity no they happen. In fact, mining company then close. We reduce the amount of money we bring in taxes. What sense does that make? Right. What sense does that make? We're heading for a brick wall.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's bring now Adams. Adams, go ahead.
I thought I responded to what he said.
No, I will give you a chance. Let you respond. Let Adams go ahead first.
Okay.
Adams, you they speak?
Me?
Adams, you they speak?
You don't get me?
Yeah, they get you clear now. Yeah. We're at the area, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been follow the some of the exchanges now the online platform where I try for joining. One or two things gets me a bit intriguing for where I call. Now when I hear Mr. Kagbode say the Auditor General they lie, he gave a report that is not factual, and Intercept don't admit say whatever it is that should give it's flawed. I think we go for left for make we the misinformed with listenership. That woman not ever say what he say was not factual. No. Based on the statute, based on the law, the calculation way he make on that timber trade, based on the law, she is correct. Because now what the law requires to do. You cannot, and you know, will do in work outside of the scope of the statute. Because mind you, all auditors report, they are guided either by international principles or local principles. So now man will go just go take what's in game, then he go present and say, oh, now this thing, so then this is it. No, you get to go by the statute. If the law says all timber should be exported and sold in cubic meters, then it has to be in cubic meters. If for any other reason, Una decide for go sell the timber in container, then Una pick up, say there was an error in the draft, Una not pick up this error 12 months, 24 months later, only when the issue be don't come out on public domain, where in fact it was the Africanist Press journal when I first begin raise this issue. Then at the time they can begin reverse say, or there be notice say there was an error in the drafting of the law. Fair enough. Okay, let's assume say there was an error in the draft. What do? You put everything on hold. Then you go with the certificate of emergency for make you go amend now passing at the bill or at the act we say now container owner one. Then not before they into all this back and forth. So make nobody no can and say, oh, the woman say, a mistake. No. The woman said when they go to Ministry of finance people and say there was an error or there was a mistake in the act itself. Now he writes now the report. What in tell and say there was an error on the act, he writes and but that not changing calculation because her calculation is based solely and purely on the statute. When we get to this distinction, they're very, very clear. I mean, you can choose to support a party of your choice. That is absolutely your right. It's your democratic values. But what you not go able for circumvent now the truth or the facts we accompany nothing there. The facts are already there. The facts are there. You cannot. I don't care who say you go pull now accountant or now auditor they can. You show the statute and the figures where they export. When you give a calculation, they match exactly on Lara and figure where you give, which is 5.5 billion.
All right, Mr. Gabo.
We cannot change that.
All right, Mr. Gabo, your response now. Thank you very much, Mr. Adams, for clarifying that also. I think Mr. Dibujalo also been clarified something like that also. Go ahead. I think you mute. Hold on, let me unmute you. No, now you're supposed to unmute yourself. I'm not able to unmute you. Okay,
okay. Let me go back to Mr. Jallo rationalization idea. It just mentioned over here clearly that APC never declared austerity. I know as you are sitting there, APC never declared austerity.
And that's the fact, Mr. Gabo.
But you had that APC declared the austerity, the country is under austerity.
No, we don't. APC never declared austerity.
That's the word we've been using ever since for the past 2 years.
No. I think that law was the spokesman for the government. Listen,
APC declared the country.
I think I've been not send them, but let me try again. Okay, so okay. Hold on, let me see.
WhatsApp now your mobile number. I'm sending them your mobile number.
Okay. All right, I will send them. Let me pull you off. Let me send them. Go ahead, Mr. Gabo.
Please.
Yeah, APC declare austerity. But my point is that he was saying there was sort of a kind of austerity, sort of measurement that they put in place. That is to say, if they used to spend 50,000, they contracted it, they spent like 25,000. based on what they are getting. Now, but what about the idea is you were putting us in the same place. There was nothing reserved for us because there was nothing coming in and nothing going out. Now, he would have told us.
Can I ask you a question? What's in our austerity?
Well, it's when a country is under life support. Nothing is going in and out. Everything is bad. Things go from bad to worse. That's just like simple life support. In simple terms, you are admitted, you are in hospital, you are completely sick.
But austerity is
not situation.
No.
They put you on the machine.
Mr. Gabo,
and the moment they unplug that
Mr.
machine, that's it.
Mr. Gabo,
yeah.
That I want make you explain to me. Life support is the effect of something. I understand that say when a government economy is in life support, they declare austerity, but the austerity has a process. Now that one I want to make you explain to me.
That's the process I'm telling you about. The country was under life support. Do you accept that the country was under austerity? That's what you should accept first. That Ernest Nkrumah left the country before a year or two before the end of his presidency. The country was under austerity. That's a fact. Until and unless you accept that, then we go ahead. If you don't accept that, then I don't have anywhere to hold you because that's what I know.
Let's say yes, if I right.
Yeah.
Let's take your definition. It's great, you understand? But what I want to make you know, when you say austerity, like what Mr. Ajibujalo been talk about the rationalization process that they go through, then they call certain things then where they're supposed to spend money because of the money no doom, then they wait and call out. Let me give you that, you understand? But when Mother Bio come, did Mother Bio continue with this? No. You know that say Mother Bio not been continue with that at all. Now the point that they try to tell you same. Yes, indeed. Mother Bio in fact, Mother Bio it can add more expenditures than the government way you say it been get austerity. So Mother Bio was not under austerity. Now the reason why I want to make you explain to me what is the definition, you know.
Okay, this is why we in government and in any leadership role. You understand? You come, you don't take the old initiatives of the people, other people. That's why we elect you, because we need a change. You come with your own initiatives that develop the country. You come with your own initiatives that develop the country.
No, but listen, you told us
that the other person's initiative, except otherwise.
You can't continue the austerity, and you even ask me if I make a correction if any government don't come for cancel the austerity done. So another make a try for telling you, Madam Bio did not actually continue with the austerity when they talk about where the APC you say that they get because Madam Bio it not been a court the expenditures. In fact, Madam Bio been they add from the to the expenditures. So it's not austerity. Madam Bio never
that's the correctional activity of which
let me
APC take. Madam Bio come with his own initiative. It's not go with his initiative.
You don't sit down patiently. Hold on, Mr. Kabu. Bible, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mankota. I patiently listen where Mr. Kabori misinform people the way they talk about the concept of austerity. These are just as an individual. When the economy they live above you means or the in and the out of the economy is short that it spend more than how you they earn, you need to adopt some measure. It's just a measure which is very severe. Like what the Honorable Ajibu they talk, the government advised ministers that when them plants give 19 liters of gas per week, then cut down to 5. Simply because they not find themselves outside the country right now. You see the prudent leadership. You see the prudent lead of the APC. Simply the failure of Madabio to those wise measures. Look where the economy is. The whole economic confidence has been undermined. And it takes time for that confidence to be built again. You see, So that austerity, those are, they call them stabilizers. Those are just measures where people they adopt in order to address specific issues. Like people to talk about the shocks, the economic shocks of the Ebola. You know, in order for men to stabilize the economy, they bring all those expenditure will reduce and will prioritize. Very simple and straightforward.
Thank you very much. Let me bring Adams again. Adams, thank you very much. Now, now we can see you live. When you hear Mr. Kabo they talk, they try for slant the definition of austerity, because I know say Mr. Kabo knows I have been try for Kerangum. I be one Kerangum na econom. Then he said they try for escape. They redefine austerity. What do you think of the SNPP government with all the PhDs? Them well, I'm a PhD man, so I don't got no what they call for people that will get PhD. Now people that will work very hard for them degree them. So not to think way they take lightly, because I went through that. But PhD is not enough. Your education is just an enhancement to your character, to the decision making. It enhance the way they make decisions. Them. Maybe you get all with them people here, where they call themselves PhD. But look at the way they decide things them today in that country. What do you think this particular government is it that this government is out of focus, definitely, or maybe it's just a gallop along the way? All right. You need to unmute yourself, Adams. I think.
Thank you, Abu. I think earlier on, Aji will be they talk about one of the principles or the economic policies where, and the Nkrumah government will get was economic rationalization. That is to say, these are set, as Ajibu don't say, you do things in order of priority or importance. When then people can inherit a government, if you say the economy was that destroyed and there was nothing left in the kitty, the last two you want for do, now for open other rooms for expenditure. Yeah. What you try for you, they reduce your budget, reduce the amount of expenditure where you think, say, run a slim economy, put it that way. You go get for run a slim economy for make you think, say, you're able for re-energize the economy, bring in activities that will bring in money back to the country. There has to be that economic activities. But what we'll see under them people they come with an economic policy of compensation, compensating people who wouldn't think say that then bring them in, rather than having the people at heart for make the people become the sole beneficiaries of their policies. What in the entire for do? They expand the how do you call it account? They expand the government pay the wage bill. Thank you, Ajibu. They expand the wage bill for we to an astronomical amount. You understand? Up to 20-something% or so. When they can increase the wage bill. Then you look at the activities where they come, not even commensurate for offsets now expansion day. Yeah. And not even commensurate, because when you think of the one that you have to look at the activities where they come in for making for them shortfalls but it's not there. So we are largely a donor-driven economy. Then they come, you look at the port again. They increase taxes in so many areas, literally every other area. Now my way we don't use for send 20 containers in the go. What's in the happen now? He can no longer afford that amount to clear 20 containers. So he rather settle for say, no, let me do 2 at a time. So 18 container is off that budget, where for them bring in extra income to the state. It's not happening. So these are the activities that where them people are then come up with where nobody is talking about. And we're not an export economy. We are importing. We import more than what you would export. So the balance of trade is not there. You understand? There has to be, it's an inverse relationship. You get for export and import, but we are not exporting. We're only importing. And as much as you continue for import, doing that importation, you get for give concessions to importers. It's not happening. Yeah. And when you don't give them concessions, and people will be forced to slash back. So there is not the money that they flow in the economy. And the fact that say the money not the flow at the economy, it is very much difficult for many people spend. Nobody wants to spend. You come, you say you come in with policies, say you know for all this X amount of foreign currencies. I understand, but what's again at the relationship in that? You restrict the amount of money, the inflow of currencies in the country. So now man they get in money now, and then they go spend, they rather go keep them because there is a monetary policy. We don't tell you say you know for all X amount of forex. Okay, so all of the activities and it is not about the level of degree which somebody gets able. You can get the as many PhDs as you could, but economic activities, these are practicable things. These are achievable area. They tell you have to leave it. You get for practice and for make you know what is happening. Economists are risk takers. You get for do that things, but you cannot bring in a professor where now theories are no more in don't use for go through it. When a classroom person, then you bring her in for can stabilize your economy instead of your central bank. What are the policies? They are not there.
Adams, I don't want for blame the professor too much because based on what they talk, we understand say he hand and tie behind in back. Sometimes you can get them good policies then, but when you get corrupt officials around you, or even the government, the high top guys they're very corrupt, then they always try to stifle you down. And based on waiting demand they talk, it seems like they're not giving a chance for making what he's supposed to do. So we not go give the total blame. The government itself is to be blamed. But Mr. Diallo, you're right. No, you're right. Definitely, it's supposed to resign because your credibility is almost something that's where you not go compromise. People like Chris will not compromise with credibility anyway. But I just want to come to you. When Madam Biobine starts this, expansion of the government and try for, add more money, for give more races to parliament, in your cabinet and the teachers, I've been warned. Oh, Ajibu Jallo is off. I think Salona, the internet is very, very, unstable. Okay, so when Madabio start that one day, I've been warned them. I tell them, say, listen, me not to economics. I not do economics. Me not to economist at all. But this not make sense to me. When I say money not in the government, the APC don't destroy the government, the money. That's not it. But why they can't begin raise taxes? Or what I say taxes, raise salaries and expand the government? It don't make sense. And I tell them, say, this girl for can hurt you tomorrow because some of them think that the effect is not shortcomings. It can be a long-term effect. And when it come in, that will be too late for you. Now, Madam Bio no go able for say, at the courts, the people their salary. It go blow back to them. Mr. Kabo, go ahead. Mr. Kabo, you mute again.
Yeah, I had every discussion, every bit of it with the economic rationalization that you guys are talking about, which is what I call as a recession, or austerity. Now, with all this you guys have been doing, this rationalization you've been doing, and cutting from one end to the other for 2 years before you left office, we're still under austerity. You're talking about there was no export was imports. You guys have been importing and exporting at the same time. We still end up at where? Austerity. There are no investors coming in the country. Now, you guys are having investors, and before even you leave, investors have to leave the country. All right? And austerity. Now, as I said to you guys, every government, every president, and every citizen, he votes for a change. Everybody has an idea. We don't want people to go into the same idea of what you have. What you are saying is you want to dictate to Madabio to follow your economic rationalization.
We never said that, Mr. Gabo. We never said that.
And that, yeah, you're trying to defend it. And he has his own policy. And that's what he's working.
Look at the policy.
The policy has not affected us in any way. The policy has not affected us in any way.
The bank governor just tell you running the bank, Mr. Kabo. The bank governor just tell you not in the bank.
Now, if he says money not in at the bank, now look at the local commodities we have. Prove me wrong. All right? The rice. What is the price of the rice today? When you were leaving government, what was the price of the rice? It's 140,000.
I think about 170,000.
I bought rice.
Savers do not have access to their money, and he said there's money.
Hold on. I bought rice in Freetown before during Anes Kuruma's government at 240,000. Okay.
Okay.
What is the price of the rice today? After Madabio took the government, what is the price of the rice today?
Hold on. I need to know
price.
325,000. 325,000. You do the math.
Okay.
325,000.
What are you talking about?
So you take 215 from 315. That answer puts it over 315 multiplied by 100. You get the percentage.
Who told you?
Very quickly.
Who told you where that rice goes 325,000? You are in Freetown. I buy rice every day in Freetown. What are you talking about, Mr. Jallo? What are you talking about? You know how many bags of rice I buy rice every day in Freetown?
You want me to go to the kitchen make I show you the rest what I buy? The rest what I buy then this year?
No. That's the one where you buy. That's the one where you buy because they know you have money. Ask the people the rice they are buying. There's no rice that goes to 320,000 in Sierra Leone. No rice. No, I have Mr. Jallo. There is no rice that goes to 320,000.
Hold on, this time I cook. How much for bag rest alone?
All right.
How much for bag rest alone?
That's what he's.
How much for bag rest?
That's what he's going to tell you.
How much for bag rest?
Hold on, Mr. Gabo, hold on.
How much for bag rest?
Bag rest na 300.
Yeah, how much?
300 and some no more.
Thank you. This now me cook now in this was okay. Say 300 and change. 325,000. Hold on.
All right. Now let us say. Let me come to that theory of your cook. Let us say the rice is 300. No. Mr. Mankota, give me a chance. Let us say the rice is 300 and let's say 300 because you don't know how much plus change. Let's say the rice is 300. And APC left the rice at 240,000, 60,000 difference. Now, how much for 3 years? How much did Etikan leave rice? At 60,000. 60,000. And by the time Anes Koroma left office was 180,000 added to the 60,000. Now compare that. That's what you're talking about.
Okay, Mr. Kago, you cannot have a better person than Mr. Adams for explain certain things the way they happen at the corner. But don't forget about the price of rice. Don't forget about the price.
Let's talk about it. Those are the things that you guys are talking about. How much did Anes Koroma? Let me ask you another question. How much did APC leave gas, petrol in Sierra Leone, and what is the price today? The gas, how much left on us alone, and how much is it today? These are the basic commodities we look at.
He said how much the fuel.
How much APC left gas? Where they left power?
Yeah, that's 7,500. 7,500. 6,500 for fuel.
What do you mean? Today?
6,500 for liter.
For today?
6,500 for liter, yeah.
For right now. How much will I be left?
6,500.
How much is it today?
I tell you the same thing. You see how much today? I'm telling the same thing.
Oh my God. Well, you don't get me. All right, Mankota, help me.
Well, no. He said that be left at 6,500. It is still 6,500.
No, that's not what okay. Up to that is 6,500, right? When you guys came to power, how much will beat gas? How much gas? How much addition? So the government is doing correct, and it is on its right track. Hold on. That's what I'm telling you.
Time out. Mr. Kagbo, time out. Right. Stop. Okay. Time out, please. Mr. Kagbo, what they are saying now is the bank, the bank falls for the serve as place where you go keep your money. That bank they also support business people the way they can lend money for go do business for make them bring the products where they can at this country. This country now a net income, now a net importer. All people they use now and people they bring inside. So the bank can't forget people their money, their savings the way they can inside. Well, a small percentage of that they provide them as loan to businessman them. Now the bank they say Your money where you go put inside it, you're not able to forget 1 million at a time. So which means that the one way to go lend money also not get money for let the lend. That means the economy is going down under the country. They lock up. You know how serious that is?
No, it's wrecked. The economy is wrecked. The economy is wrecked. The economy has been wrecked.
For the countries,
Mr. Kago,
I'm listening to you.
Mr. Kago, you understand how serious that is? The effects of that. What thing for happen now is people that they take their small money where they get, they keep it under bed. Then they can't go to bank again. When they don't can't go to bank again, money they in short supply and the circulation of the economy. When that one they happen, it creates inflationary pressure because the price of things they go up. When price of things go up, then they come back down. You know what's that kind of problem there? People don't forget the idea like for save money no day.
That is a wishful thinking, and that problem don't escalate yet. That's a wishful thinking for you.
Nah, but Mr. Kagbo,
hey, there's no way
Mr. Kagbo, more we left for the disabled people.
Mr. Kagbo,
more left for the disabled people, Mr. Kagbo. With respect, more we left for the disabled people. You are not there. You need to suffer. You need to know what's in the people that they go through. Do you know what it means that you have your money in your bank and you cannot have access to it? You know what that mean? You know the frustration where the people are frustrated? More we left for being so selfish simply because you are not affected and then you keep bringing justification. Why do you think the bank governor had to apologize? Why do you think that the bank governor going to radio and apologize?
We were positive.
No, you answer this question now. Why you think the bank governor get to apologize?
Now they pray for that. Those are just wishful thinking. Nothing.
No. Mr. Kagbo, answer this simple question.
That's all.
Can you answer this question for once? Listen. Mr. Kagbo,
lies against the people.
Mr. Kagbo, could you answer this question for once? Why you think the bank governor go on radio and apologize?
That's your question. You have your answer for that. Because that's what you want to hear.
Okay.
That's what you
want
to hear.
I'll give you my answer.
That's what you want to hear.
No, let me give you my answer.
Correct.
Let me give you my answer. It is simply because say their policies don't fail the people. December period, these are the peak of economic boom where you get people coming in with so much foreign currency for can help for boost the economy. So what's in the happen now? So with a shortage of loans, you don't stagnate the growth of the economy. And the bulk of Sierra Leone's economic growth, it happened within the month of December as a result of the influx of people coming in. Now you've got people coming in. Some man don't they I don't send money through your account. And money don't they're not able to go expend that. People that don't go for go do project, those who are involved into construction, they do not have access to their money. How the economy will flow? A lot of things are not happening. The activities are slow. This government should have foresaw this issue. Therefore, don't focus. Therefore, don't know say money not there at the bank. Let them go and reprint. Make provisions for this. Therefore, don't foresee all of them things that to happen. But they're not them failing that. That is the reason why the bank governor have to apologize and say the money will only come sometime in February. Then fail. They had 6 months, 7, 8 months down the line for prepare for all of this. Who are the economic forecasters? What will have been the forecasting wouldn't do for know if and when money will be available, if and when money get for be sorted. More we left for be so selfish to we people simply because we are not down there that we need to feel about the things. Those in governance, you know that they're in power now, I am pretty sure they regret the actually what they happened to. That's the reason why the bank governor had to apologize. Because say in a way they have let down the people. They have failed in a way. If not their party of the world, the head would have rolled down. Their party of the world, Bokuma for don't resign. That's the dignity of it. But it's not happening down there. But at least to his credit, he's apologized, which is a novelty. Another man before go there, he go begin talk economic nonsense. But he's at least the owner for making apologize. So for me, I respect him for that.
Yeah. Bible, go ahead.
All right. The good thing about it
what they say is, if Mr. Kagbo up to this point, somebody who lives in New York, the great New York, is saying all that he has been saying. This I don't want to be personal, but this we therefore be careful. I know the question why they support the government of the day. It's not anything bad, but what is wrong is wrong. You see, now they don't undermine the whole public confidence. Now you get banking. Now people then go down afraid. You know how long it will take to restore that confidence? You think about it. That confidence when they don't undermine, so business community. Now when people say the money when you put on they forget her and anything happen with that kind of government there. The problem therefore be a very serious problem. So how we go restore confidence to the people for make them bring money back that the banking system is a very big thing. Mr. Gagbo, think about it. This is not a joke. It's very, very serious. And the international community, they are watching. If they talk about the auditor, general, what you mean know is now defeat. Now they pay that aspect. Now the aspect of monetary support. That one, anything way they do say, if they try for living to international standards, you not go ready for me, just go mortgage repetition for anything. So if they try for do the right thing, and no one may try for demeanor or may think say it just they do is partisan business, is supporting one party. The British, the Americans, they are sitting there, the international partners, the Europeans, they are there watching. Why Chijan Kabage problem with the international partner? This is one of the problem, the audit report. He refused to make it public as to when the people they want for see. Now the APC, now he begin make audit report public. They publish a parliament, they debate. Now he give confidence to the international for begin come back now alone. They begin to spend money like Karen, they spend money so. So not underestimate what that man they do. A lot of things they at stake. That auditory report will come also. Hold on damn that government. What the government now the court don't damn so. So we are concerned when we are talking about it. Somebody they say something different. He said I support. You are not supporting. You are killing your very people in your village.
Thank you very much. Now let's have 1 minute because we are
Abu, just very quickly, Abu. Okay. Just very quickly. This audit report here where they talk about, so the thing where people need to understand, when SLPP came to power, the Commission of Inquiry was premised solely on the Auditor General's report. And other than this post here, now this same lady here will be done the audit APC, where SLPP can then see and say she has done exceptionally well for the country. And this now one person way, she has remained above every other thing. She has not been partisan, not involved into no politics. She is internationally sourced. Internationally sourced. Not to like for saying I just Salonon and assets for will. She is globally sourced.
Correct.
That way, globally sourced.
Correct.
Now, based on a report,
correct.
Now the SLPP can wait and say, oh, the previous governments they don't cost resource money. So now, if this lady had to do in work independently, then people begin to question. This same Umaya when I report now be don't use for castigate other people. Now if they do the same thing for sure, say, you know, you guys are not even better than those before you anyway. Then now the thing says she's been partisan. Well, I don't know which party we belong to. I don't know which party we belong to because she was vilified as well under APC. You understand? And now she's been vilified. That means that she's doing a good job. Now, Sierra Leone. When you see them begin to go after you, party in, party out, it means you are independent. You refuse to be corrupted. And that is who that woman is. She's refused to be corrupted. We need to accept the fact that, the audit report is there. The $5.5 billion, where it is say it's as a result of devaluation. That the woman goes solely by the 2018 Public Finance Act. Period. Not only for saying I ain't gonna make the law. Now what's seeing the government go with now based on that, now based on the law, she did a calculation based on the quantum that was exported, 2 million something cubic meters. Now he doing calculation and say by virtue of this amount, now this money Salon government for don't get. Now this money we for don't get, but we not get now money there. So now many governments go rethink and see who side the shortfalls and they. But some of we have done a reverse calculation anyway, but we wait for medical. Even the reverse calculation where some of we do, Abu, they tell you say, by virtue of the reverse calculation, let's assume say there was a mistake in the act. But when you do a reverse calculation, you get about $249 million that should have been accounted for.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. I think Jalo, go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. Kagbo, all I can say, Mr. Kagbo, you cannot defend everything. And you cannot keep defending to the extent where your patriotism and nationalism and love for your country will be impugned. You cannot do that. Here we are in this country, we don't see measures them where they promote corruption. We don't see the Minister of Finance bring a document in our parliament where he puts a provision, say the president and the vice president must not be accountable to Impress. What is that about? Are you out of, come on, what is that about? If that's not wake you up for say, then why are bent on corruption? Then how about the one with the Attorney General bring an instrument kind of parliament we say COVID activities must not be investigated. During Ebola time, President Kuroma asked for a real-time report for let know COVID, Ebola. This way, so then bring an instrument can say no, nobody know for ask me question. We come up and down again. We see how the Deputy Minister of Transport can make a mess of himself on television. Then puts that and juxtapose that there as against the National Procurement Authority, Public Authority, man. Soiree, we talk say they request 30 new vehicles. Then we see Mawede in charge of the interim Mawede in charge of COVID when Minister of Defense. We say no, now 5 new vehicles, not to 5 new vehicles. You see that confusion there. All of that they tell you say they corrupt, then continue for the systematically bring corruption kind of the country, and that has now been upheld on this I call them Auditor General report. Now the question is because that lady either do in work routinely, doesn't matter what party is in office, what party not in office. Every time at this particular time, they do in Auditor General report a layer in a parliament to become public. What the government does, what in the government do now for correct them mistake they did. Now I will know if government serious or not. That is what we're looking for now. We also see what happened. One more quick thing.
Okay.
The president they abandoned the contract for $315,000. Now I call it 315 million. Now Mamama New Airport, but they come with twice as much for an extension of the existing airport.
Yeah.
Okay. We also see outside and come and say that they can build bridge and cost about 2.6 billion. Okay, and then talk say that they can launch that bridge day. How did they can launch now? Who that come now? BOT arrangement, a PP arrangement. Who that can deposit that money? Who that can bring that money? Then continue to confuse the public. You yourself should be baffled at this point. You should be ashamed if you're supporting SLPP at this point. Really and truly, they're confused. They have lost hope.
All right, Mr. Kagbo, your point. You get 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you all commentators and fellow listeners. What is the remaining fact is that a political party when APC, when the cankerworm for destroy the country today, as we have it today. These are the people when a new regime comes and trying to bring its own principles and put the country together. That one for can show we sense. That one for can show them sense. Say, no, now we own side incorrect. And during the own side we being correct, and the country collapse. And this man can put this country. Then they say this now we they do, this time they do. Now this will not be they do. Now they will go under austerity. Now this will not be they do. Now the country collapse. Now the corruption become the order of the day. How would you be so corrupt, so much so that you want to come tell me how to fight corruption? When you, because then corruption fights corruption. When you are so corrupt, the only system you are bringing to me, as we see it now, the ACC was created by, was more so armed by the APC during the time, the ACC. And the leaders of that ACC at the time were people like Joseph, Federal Camara. I know him as Joseph, I know him very well. You know, we don't use those names, Federal, this, that, we call him Joseph, right? And this now the watchman, we've been there with the other guy, where they've been there for take care of the situation. They're not be able to catch thief man. They're not be able to catch no thief man, until the day. When the ACC can begin catch thief man them, then become a problem with them. Then now, audit when a fraudulent audit, they want use say, oh, we're not native man there, we native man there, we all native man there. You know they will. All right. The government of today gets in your way, you get your own steps. Hold on. Investor confidence that will not be there. There is no water supply. There is no sustainable electricity. There is no food in the country. There is austerity in the country. All the confidence they want to get. And then now one can show people they have for them. We've elected new presidents, new government for new ideas. And the ideas are working.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kabo. But here is the thing, though. Me on that's what you want for. We all belong to political parties, and I always emphasize this. It is good to belong to the political parties because when the different political parties get different ideas, ideologies, then when we try for look at their ideology, then the main focus is for make we take the best idea and try for implement them for the benefit of society. Let me also not forget, say, our political parties we belong to is not an impediment for the development of Salon. If a political party or a government make mistakes, let us not forget for tell them say they make mistakes. In fact, people like you, they know whether man cut now for saying I know they forget for tell somebody they make mistake. I do so many times na me party. But when you, Mr. Kabo, you say you don't belong to no political party, but we know say you belong to the SLPP. It's clear. But when you they talk about patriotism, they see some kind bold-faced corruption they take place now. The SLPP, you now one of the people they're doing the APC in this program here, when they chastise APC for corruption. Now you are definitely defending corruption. That's a shame. But anyway, I just want to thank you very much. This is a wonderful program. Next week we'll come back and discuss more because this is not a continuous thing. As long as the politicians they still decide for defraud with people them, will they continue with this program? I thank you very much, Mr. Ajibujalo from Salon and Mr. Adams from the UK, Mr. Kabo from New York, and Mr. Baibure from Ohio. I thank you very much. So we will see you back next week, the same time, the same place.
Thank you, Abu.
Thank you, Mr. Kago. Thank you, Abu. Adam, good seeing you, my brother. Take care. And Mankata Doc, thank you.